Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
There is nothing wrong with your podcatcher. Do not attempt to adjust the audio. We are controlling the transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the left channel. We will control the right channel. For the next hour, give or take, sit quietly and we will control all that you hear. We repeat, there's nothing wrong with your podcatcher. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to Those Were the Days. That's right, it's Those Were the Days, the show that talks about old TV. But now, not then. Old TV now. I am this week's host, Amy, and I cannot do this by myself. I am going to need an audio engineer, Steven.
If television and movies have taught me anything about alien life, it's that most of them can understand English. If they don't understand it, just yell the same word louder and they'll get the point. Follow me for more hot tips. Hashtag alien expert, hashtag bilingual, hashtag galactic ambassador.
We'll also need our hotshot radio DJ, Audie.
Okay, mine's just riffing on the same thing Amy did, but I'm going to go for it anyway.
Do it.
There's nothing wrong with your... I don't even know what you're listening to this on. Or you're watching on the computer? Are you watching this live? Or later on YouTube? Or are you just listening on your phone? Yeah, anyway, there's nothing wrong with your... there could be something wrong with your device thing. I don't know. It's highly presumptuous of me to assume your device is just working perfectly, I guess. Well, right now, nothing is wrong with your device because you're listening to us. And what we're doing, we're taking control. Yeah, just sit back. We're going to talk about stuff now like we do, on the internet.
And we need one put upon wife. It's Travis.
All right, we got about an hour, and then I have to jet because apparently I am going to be taking over on KXKVI radio. That feels like too many letters for a radio station now.
It's fine. Don't even worry about it. If you hadn't figured it out by this very iconic opening that we have, we're talking about The Outer Limits. Inspired by, most people will willingly admit, by my favorite Twilight Zone, which I just simply could not do again, though I would have. It ran from September 1963 to January of 1965. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. What a good time.
Wow.
It's a wild time slot.
That is shocking to me because that's an hour-long show at 7:30, which is weird. Yeah. Okay. And a dark show for 7:30. The kids aren't even in bed yet.
Well, they didn't have Entertainment Tonight yet, so they had to put something there.
That's a good point. Yeah. We didn't have that block of extra Entertainment Tonight or right. Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. They weren't right there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So this did have the iconic opening where it looks like there's something wrong with your television, which is so good. So good.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
I love that.
Done.
It was really great.
Especially, so much in the early days of television when you don't think anything.
You don't know. Your rabbit ears could be on, like, you don't know.
Yeah, you have
gotta
a
go
horizontal...
send a kid over to adjust it.
Yeah, and you got horizontal and vertical holds and stuff, controls on your TV. Like, all of these controls that they mess with are things that could potentially be an issue. Like, that's the cool part.
Yeah.
So
I do wonder if there was much in the way of inspiration. Obviously there probably was from something like War of the Worlds radio play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's, for sure. It's that immersive.
Yeah.
You're in our world now.
I just imagine Dad running over there and smacking. There's something wrong with the set. Dad, are you not listening? He said, stop. He said, don't
there's
worry.
There's nothing wrong. They're doing it.
This darn Radio Shack piece of junk.
Yeah. What's the number for the TV station? I need to call these people.
Yeah, I need to get me my stationery.
So good. Where Twilight Zone had sort of a wide variety of all weird but different genres, right? There was a
Mhm.
lot of fantasy, there was a lot of paranormal and supernatural. Outer Limits was significantly more sci-fi based. It also very much feels like if you enjoy Twilight Zone, but you are slightly tired of metaphor, and you would maybe not like to question your place in the cosmos quite as much, that maybe this this is your jam. If you don't want to question the morality of Santa Claus giving a bunch of alcoholics a bottle of gin, maybe this is for you.
This is like the
um,
Are You Afraid of the Dark for adults without
yeah,
wanting an existential crisis every time they watch TV.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Originally it was supposed to be called Please Stand By, but ABC was like, no.
That's gonna look
Could
real
you
bad in
not?
TV Guide. Like this.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Yeah.
So series creator Leslie Stevens retitled it to The Outer Limits. And that was also supposed to be the title of this episode that we watched, which was The Galaxy Being, season 1, episode 1. Um, I have very little background with this show outside of knowing its existence and knowing the opening, right? Like for sure I knew the opening. But I have very little very little knowledge of it outside of its existence, even though I did crib part of its name when we needed a fictional sci-fi and paranormal podcast in Aquilo, took Outer Limits and Stranger Things and smashed them together to get Stranger Limits.
Very nice.
But I want to know if you guys have any history with Outer Limits. We'll start with Audie.
Yeah, nope.
Mhm.
Nope. This is my first time watching it, and yeah, so like
It-
you, it was that same thing. Like I know the opening. Everybody knows the opening if you've
yeah.
been in this world and paid attention to pop culture stuff at all. So I knew of it, but I had never actually watched an episode before now.
It feels slightly to me like maybe you had a house that was either a Twilight Zone house or an Outer Limits house. Back in the day when there were like
No,
divides in
this is a
everything.
deeply southern house. We were a hee-haw house.
Oh, that's
So
fair. You know what? That's fair. That is
It's like
actually
saying,
fair.
were you a Beatles fan or a Rolling Stones fan? No, I listened to Waylon Jennings.
exactly. That's pretty
That's
much
fair.
it. Exactly.
Mhm.
Hank
Nailed
Williams
it.
Sr.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, how about you?
Yeah, no, I have no recollection of this. I do remember, as it's mentioned in the chat a couple times as we've been going, there's a newer version of The Outer Limits. That, correct me if I'm wrong, was that on Showtime or something? And it was like super crazy, or was it broadcast too? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I do remember that. I had no idea there was a 1963 version of The Outer Limits. But it's funny, I didn't know that, but I do remember people referencing
Yeah.
the intro. So like the intro was lost to me in the sense that I knew of it, but I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
You're
kind of
right,
happens
Steven.
over time.
The newer one was on Showtime, and then Sci-Fi, and then
Aha.
Station.
Okay. I thought it was on Showtime.
Mhm.
But yeah, so they did remake it. But yeah, I remember the intro, but not from this, just from other people referencing the intro.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Trav, how about you?
I definitely watched episodes of this and eventually the newer series and the mid '90s one as well. I was much more of a Twilight Zone fan overall than Outer Limits, but
Yeah.
being just a huge sci-fi nerd, like definitely liked it. Also, it was referenced a lot. One of my favorites is in the movie Hackers. Um, Dade Murphy hacks a TV station so he can watch episodes of The Outer Limits. I just love that.
Incredible. Love that. So yeah, we watched season 1, episode 1, formerly titled Please Stand By. Currently titled The Galaxy Being. Okay. I really did. I mean, I was kind of throwing darts at a dartboard to pick an episode, and
Mhm.
I watched the beginnings of several of them. And quite frankly, this is the one that got to the intro the fastest. And I was like, let's go. Like, let's just,
Mhm.
because I feel like there's a lot of setup before the intro. Let's just go. But I still think I think it's a particularly good one. So we have Alan Maxwell, who is a radio engineer at KWKXZ.
KXKVI.
Yeah, it's catchy.
KXKVI.
Yeah. AM
KXKVI,
radio
which
is
I was like,
wild.
is this like a Roman, like, it just was so close to being Roman numerals. And I was like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
the same thing. I was like, is it like K10, K6?
That's the thing. I
Yeah.
was waiting for them to say it. Just
Yeah.
like, okay, how's it going to be
Right.
said?
Like
'Cause-
the alien has some connection to it. No. All right. So he is the audio engineer. His brother is the DJ at the radio.
which I
And
like we find out that news like, 2/3 into the show.
so far
Yeah.
in.
Like I didn't even know the lady was his wife.
I didn't
until,
either.
Like
No one
I
had a
did
ring
that-
on.
I only did because at one point when she's telling him that he has to get ready, she says something about like, I just want my husband to do
Yeah.
a
right.
thing.
Yeah.
But still, up until that point, I
Well,
was
yeah, no, up until that point,
like,
she was the
what?
secretary as far as I knew, right? And
Yeah,
we're like, oh, let's
exactly.
send the girl out to the shed. I see
Mhm.
how it is. That's fine.
She's a very dutiful
even to the point-
secretary.
Yeah, where and I love it's Gene Buddy Maxwell. You got to make sure to say the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right?
you
That's
gotta
his
have
name.
your radio name.
Gene Buddy Maxwell. He early on, she comes in to tell him something in the studio, and he's like, "Well, all right," and he calls her Babe, and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
really? Okay."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's his sister-in-law. So
It's and he's a 60s radio DJ.
yeah,
Like, yeah, like, all right, I'll give him the pass on this one.
You can't just put that down and pick it up. Like the personality will bleed through sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's true.
He's in
By
the
the way,
booth.
Alan is played by Cliff Robertson.
Yup.
Yep.
Most everyone will talk about him as being Uncle Ben from
Mhm.
the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Yep.
movies. And yes, he was. However, for me, he was the president in Escape from LA.
Oh, wow.
That
I'm going to go
too.
deep cut on you.
Heck yeah.
I'm
But I
glad
love
that
Cliff
guy got
Robertson. He was
work.
great.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
also
yeah.
in an
Oh.
episode of the 90s Outer Limits series.
He was. He was
Alright.
one of like 4 or 5 actors that was in both
I like that.
iterations.
That's very cool.
That's delightful. So we're inside the radio station, and it's a hell of a radio show going on, and but they notice that the power is about half of where it should be. So that means that they are not broadcasting to nearly as far as they are supposed to be, which is what the advertisers are paying for.
Hmm.
That's fair.
Mhm.
And so Buddy is talking to, is it Carol? Is that her name? Carol?
Yes.
Mhm.
Carol, who we don't yet know is Alan's wife, but talking to Carol, and she's like, "Oh, he already knows because he's out in the transmission shed right now." It's like, "Well, he's
Right.
doing it on purpose." Yeah. Well, that's illegal. Yeah.
I love how
You know what stuff
nonchalant
is
she is.
illegal.
He's
So
stealing power, stealing equipment,
Stealing power,
stealing
I don't
stuff.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't talk to him.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So he sends her out there to be like, "Can you please just go talk to him?" So she does go talk to him, but she doesn't really talk to him about that. She talks to him about how he's got to be ready for this thing tonight. And it's a thing in his honor.
Yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
like, I'm doing radio. I'm doing microwaves. Because this is it. This is the whole
Mhm.
thing. Everything right now, microwaves.
Yep.
It was the AI of 1963. Microwaves. We're going to put them in everything.
Mhm.
It really was.
They're
We
gonna
were
take our
worried about 'em.
jobs in the microwave.
Microwaves. And he's hooked it up to the TV first. And she's like, "Why?" He says, "Because it's interesting." And as we all know, neurodivergence didn't exist until 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is perfectly normal behavior. And he's also got a 3-dimensional television screen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like this. This is good.
Are we
And
going to explain what that is? Nope.
Nope.
no, we
No.
don't have to.
No.
This is short form. We're doing short stories here.
That's right.
We don't care. None of it matters.
It's one of the things I
Um,
love about short form
Mhm.
speculative fiction is you
Yeah.
can put stuff like that in there and just it doesn't matter. We don't have
Doesn't
to
matter.
explain.
It doesn't matter
we
how
don't
it
have to explain
works.
You just cram some
That's a big
wires.
problem with
and-
modern stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is it over explains? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But a
Why
lot
does
of
it work this
people,
way? It
people are
does. I know
flipping
they get.
inquisitive.
Right.
Like, calm down.
But back in the day, if you were mad at Outer Limits because it didn't tell you how the 3D TV worked, you were gonna yell at your kids. That was gonna be it. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have a
Yeah.
forum where you could be like,
That's true.
"This is an outrage."
It's a good point. I'm going to angrily put my children to bed after this show because
Yeah.
I'm fed up.
You know, I'm gonna talk at my wife while she washes the dishes.
So anyway, they had this TV and they didn't tell me, like, is it the knobs? Is it the back and forth? Wife's like, yes, honey, I understand.
hmm
Why don't you have yourself a whiskey and go sit down?
Yeah. So he's looking at these transmissions from space and he's looking at them in 3 dimensions. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. He promises that he will be ready. He will, yes, dear. I will be ready to go. I will do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what did we just get lucky? Did we hit a knob? I don't entirely know exactly why it worked all of a sudden.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's so easy for a radio transmitter that is, pointed in one direction and can't move at all, and yet is somehow fixed on one point in space, billions of light years away.
Well,
Mhm.
I
That's
mean,
fine.
he was twisting the knobs. This played like a mini game in a video game where you have to line
Yeah.
up the
Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
frequency. So you're
Right.
locked in. Game completed. The box opens. You
Mhm.
get a new gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
way
true.
this worked.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So, the static sort of, which is it's cool because it's the waveform is just like in the opening of
Yeah.
them screwing with your TV. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. So like,
Right.
what if it came out of your TV?
Yeah, that was cool. That's where my mind went.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the static sort of the waveforms rearrange themselves until they are a face. There's a thing in the TV.
Oh
Yep.
no.
3 fingers, very important. That's how you know
Mhm.
it's not a people.
Yep.
Right.
Tiny eyes, no mouth,
Yes.
glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
This thing looked great. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
really
say
good.
I loved it. I loved every part of it. It looked great. There were a couple times when it would turn, when you can very clearly see the ribbon that you use on the zipper
Yep.
to pull
Yep.
the zipper.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. I mean, quite frankly, it was distorted enough that if it weren't for the fact that I was like kind of looking for it, you know what I mean?
Right.
I probably would
Yeah.
have missed it. But I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got him.
Yeah.
There's also like a line between like the neck.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh yeah.
okay,
It was
we've
astute.
tried. It was
Yeah.
good.
But the special effects
Um,
on that thing were really impressive.
Really quite
Yeah,
good.
they
Really
were.
So
impressive.
it was an alien costume that they put glycerin on so it would catch hot spots from the lights.
Oh.
And that's what made and then it was all it was inverted. And
Yep.
so that's what those little dark spots
Mhm.
were shiny spots, which was a
Wow.
very cool effect because they moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
You
did.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
Right.
was
that was
very
the
dynamic.
Yeah.
yeah, and it makes it look otherworldly.
Yeah.
It just
very much
doesn't
so.
look like anything we've ever seen. So I love
Yeah.
that
I mean,
so much.
the negatives, photo negatives are unnerving anyway,
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
They
you
are.
know. So he manages to be able to like epilepsy warning on this episode.
Oh my
man.
gosh. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because the first way that the alien tries to communicate is with flashing lights,
Yep, that doesn't work so well.
which doesn't go great. So I do like that he okay. It's fine. I'm not gonna ask why about everything. I'm really not, because it doesn't matter.
Whatever. We were asking it the entire episode.
Oh yeah,
The whole episode.
questioning
Totally.
everything.
So but I do love. I love that. So he's got a microphone that is attaches to his computer,
Mm-hmm.
and
And just
so
before that,
he's
I gotta say, I love the Doc Brown moment of like getting two big wires. Just
yeah,
yeah, it's
great,
working.
fantastic. And so he's trying to get the alien to put his binary code into word form, which his
Mhm.
computer will be able to translate. Phenomenal. That's fine. I'm fine. We have a computer that will translate. Great.
Mm-hmm.
And we bring it back later.
Mhm.
Also great. Like it is, we it's crazy advanced technology, but we're not just like good news aliens speak English. And it's not on the alien side to have the translation technology, which I think is
Yep.
unusual, right? Usually it's
Yeah.
the aliens show up and they're like, "Don't worry, we can translate
Yeah,
for
here's
you."
a
Hey,
Babel
we brought
fish. Put this in your
Eventually.
ear.
Yes.
Exactly. Put this in your
Exactly.
ear. All right. So we find out via pointing on a map, on a tiny space map, very exact,
Mhm.
that this creature is from Andromeda.
Yeah, we follow the cardinal directions of north, south,
There's
east, and
no
west.
north
Yeah.
in space.
In space,
Nope.
and the creature
No.
knows what north is and also knows what earth is. And it's just
Insane.
Mhm.
my favorite trope in all
Yeah.
sci-fi is when the aliens are like, oh yeah, earth. Yeah, I know where that is.
Mhm.
We call
Yeah,
it
I know
that
where that
too.
is.
That's so weird.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, the bad neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we
Mhm.
know.
Oh, you're from
Everybody
Andromeda?
knows.
Yeah.
We go around.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're told
Yeah, I
not to
broke
stop.
down there once. It was not
Yeah.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Which, I mean, oh, go ahead.
A friend of mine shared with me the funniest little comic this week for Easter. It was like Jesus on a cross and a couple aliens were like, yeah, we need to get the F out of here.
We gotta go. Gotta go. We are not
These are
here.
jacked
And
up
Uh,
people.
a little bit of that does play into the plot of this
It
episode
does.
because
Yeah.
the galaxy being is breaking the laws by contacting Earth
Yep.
because Earth is the bad neighborhood and they're not
Yeah.
supposed to talk to them.
Yeah.
Don't
So
talk to
I liked
them.
that.
It's like when you're on your ham radio and you reach somebody in North Korea and you're both like, wait a
Mhm.
minute. Are we supposed to
Wait.
be talking to each other?
I also watched Wes Anderson's Asteroid City today, so this was a
Oh,
wild
wow.
diametrically opposed
Wow.
experience. It was a bit of a whiplash. So yeah, I mean, basically, we're not allowed to contact you because you're a danger to other galaxies.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not
we
wrong.
believe that.
You know what? Yeah,
Yep. Mankind
absolutely
has
correct.
You gotta, can't think of the word, but that's who we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reputation.
There we go.
So there's a lot of philosophical talk that happens here.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity is God, God, infinity, all the same.
Yeah.
Electromagnet, and okay, so it talks very slow,
It does.
Yeah.
which I get. Like we're good, we're running it through like a
The tube-based
Casio
computer.
calculator.
Right.
Yeah, like
But also, like, was it tube based? It looked like just a giant breadboard with just all the
it
wires
had
stuck
tapes.
into it.
Yeah.
There were
But
like
you know what?
reels.
Right.
We've got almost 52 minutes of runtime and like 7 pages of script. We got to stretch this out a little bit.
We
right?
figured out how to make this guy look like this, so
Mm-hmm.
we're doing it. It was fine.
Yeah, we did the hard part.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like, I don't know, man. I feel like if an alien contacts and is like, I'm not supposed to talk to your planet, you're a danger to everyone, I don't think I'd be like, so do you believe in God? Like, that would not be my.
That's why we're a danger to everyone, because we immediately went to religion
We
and
can't be trusted
politics.
not to talk religion and politics when we're
Mhm.
contacted by the aliens from Andromeda. We
Wait,
can't.
how do you feel about gun
First thing.
control? Like, what?
Yeah.
Hello?
There's some excellent weaponry at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I also loved like
death.
the alien being like, "What are those holes in your face?"
That was
below
the
you?"
Yeah.
best. That was the best.
It was really
He
good.
called it a mouth
So
hole.
good.
And I'm
Yep.
like, this is,
Yeah. I mean, it is.
yeah.
Mhm.
Nose
Um,
for what? Smelling.
Yeah, and
Smelling? Yeah, it's a thing you do with your nose. Oh, that makes all the sense in the world.
Perfect.
he explained he used
check.
words like
You are menace.
olfactory.
It's just like writing
Yeah.
down menace.
Like,
Like
oh boy.
Yeah.
idiots.
Do you think this alien's gonna know what olfactory means? Like, he just goes to big words, like talk about war, the atom bomb. It's like, dude, guys in Andromeda, like, what? Your words don't even mean what his words mean.
No.
That I was having a real hard time with that. If you can't tell,
Yeah.
it's
Couldn't
like,
tell.
stop using
Yeah.
complex
We
language.
can't even translate anime properly. Like, what are we?
I know. If
This
you
is
take
not a good plan.
Somehow
English
the
to
radio
Chinese and
just
back
got-
is never good.
It's not good. That is a fun game to play. That's the best radio game. Is you take like a poem or song lyrics or something, like especially something like that, right? Where it uses words in like
Mhm.
a more artistic way.
Yes.
And you run it through a few different Google Translates, and then you run it back and you see where you wound up.
Yep.
So good. So good. All right, so there's a thing tonight honoring Alan that he's got to get ready for. He's changing in his shed. Tells the guy he'll be back in an hour. What's an hour? Earth time, 1/24th of a revolution.
That was clever. I wouldn't have thought that fast.
That was
I would have
impressive.
been like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was impressive, but the alien should have been like, I guess
Eh.
that means something to you.
Yeah.
I'll just be here.
Okay,
I'll
what's
just
a
be here.
revolution?
But
Hang
does
out
warn
in this
him,
box.
Mhm.
Don't up the power.
Yeah.
Don't up the right, because he's like,
Mhm.
so I'll call you back. No. We have this is like when you find the unscrambled porn channel. You cannot turn it off. You need to hang on to that and keep the thing open. And he's like, all right, just don't. It's like everything's fine. Everything's locked in. Don't even worry about it.
Mhm.
I don't care how nice of a conversation I've had with a stranger. If they tell me, just hang on the phone, I'll be back in an hour. I'm leaving. Like, I got
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
stuff to
Mhm.
do.
Come on, I have other things to do.
I don't know you well enough. See you, bye.
Yeah. Well,
His wife is on the is like we're supposed to be going to dinner. Like we got a thing. What are you doing? So because it's his brother, Buddy has gotten a replacement, a substitute DJ for the evening.
mhm.
DJ Eddie
Mhm.
Phillips, who I would let do my math homework. And
Yeah.
he's there. So he's going to take care of things, and Alan goes in and messes with all of the switches. Now, I feel like if Alan had not touched any of the switches or said anything to Eddie, that Eddie would have just carried on and played
Yeah.
the greatest hits of 1963,
Yeah. He
Absolutely.
wouldn't have done anything.
which from the sound of it were the greatest hits of 1959. But
It was the all Lawrence Welk hour.
yeah, and that's fine. That channel's important.
Sure.
But no, because Alan was in there being like, don't touch this.
Right.
And then Eddie's like, well, how much power can you give it? It's like, oh, I don't know. You could probably get it to Canada, east to the Mississippi, because they're in California. Yeah. Is that?
Yeah.
I was guessing from the name. I was like,
Mhm.
that sounds like California.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, I can get you, all the way to Canada if you crank it up. It's like, okay, all right. You're not helping.
You're not helping
Alan.
it because Eddie is like, he wants to be the voice of Los Feliz.
Right.
Yeah.
He wants to be a bigger deal on the radio than he
And
is just
Alan
to fill in.
is not good at social cues.
No.
So-
because you know.
Buddy and Carol have gone off, and Alan's coming in the station wagon, which is a beautiful piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Woody was a beautiful thing.
I want those back.
Yeah, that was the best part about the PT Cruiser. Because
Right.
the PT Cruiser you
Yeah.
could get in the
You
Woody,
get
and
the
it was
Wood edition.
really good.
Yeah. It's not real
Really,
till it
really
has
good.
backward facing seats in the trunk, though.
That's true.
That's right.
Mm.
I have a very clear memory from when I was young, and there was a car in front of us that had the backward facing seats, and there was a kid in it, and he held up a sign and it said, "Hi, my name's Tim and I'm in the crumple zone." And that was just it was really good. It has stuck with me for all of these years, for this 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
So good. All right. So they go to the banquet. Phenomenal. Great. This is a banging party. Every
Mhm.
shot of this party looks like you would expect a party for the All Lawrence Welk channel
Yep.
to be.
Radio people.
Yep.
Radio people. All the shrimp cocktail you can eat. Now, meanwhile, at the radio station, Eddie's girlfriend calls. Or he calls her. I don't know. Irrelevant. They're talking, and he's like, no. Don't worry. Hang on. I'll call you back on the next record. I'm gonna fix this. I'm going all the way to Canada.
Mhm.
So he just cranks it all the way up. Phenomenal. And so while that happens,
Which, thinking about it now, I'm like, didn't Buddy ask earlier why the power was down? Why didn't he do something then?
yeah, and I
Mhm.
mean he did. Like, so
Well, Buddy wanted to know why the power was down, and Carol told him like, just leave Alan alone. It's fine. He's working on
Yeah,
stuff. And
okay.
Alan's like,
yeah, he's
don't
doing
mess
stuff.
with anything.
Like,
It's just that
please.
Alan made the dumb mistake of telling Eddie
Telling Eddie. Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how you ruin everything. Is this dial right here?
Yep,
Um
just crank this one.
so Buddy and a girl, a blonde,
Mhm.
they're making out in the car with the radio on. And the radio gets really loud, which
Yeah.
I don't think is how any of this works.
No.
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, it's
I
not.
don't
Volume
think.
isn't going to crank. That's not how you hear it in Canada.
That's
It's because
not.
it's really loud in
Yeah, it's
California.
just really loud.
Yeah, it's louder.
It's just they're hearing it
Yeah.
from that car.
Sorry,
But
folks. We
in
didn't
Canada.
we didn't turn it up enough for you. Give us a second.
Yeah. But now we know that there's something going on, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. We should go inside, I guess." So Buddy,
Well, 'cause
instead of just
first-
letting him have,
Right.
Go
Well,
ahead.
because first the radio gets louder, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird," and he turns it down.
Mhm.
yeah,
But then we have to then they just stay in the car. But we cut back to the radio station.
yeah,
And
So the
Eddie's
shed.
on the air. And in the shed, the galaxy beam
Things
is
have
having a rough
happened.
time.
The 3D TV shatters and outcrawls in a very wonderfully creepy way. So well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It crawls out of the TV like the girl from The Ring.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
ring owes what it did to this Outer Limits
Right.
episode.
And it's so creepy. So all right, now it's here. Somehow we boosted the microwaves, and in this Willy Wonka-esque move, we now
Yep.
have it on the TV. Great. So he doesn't mean to hurt anybody. This is nice. This is very good. But he does emit radiation.
Mhm.
We do get a lot of pretty good radiation poisoning effects for a TV show, especially.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
and two, this is 1963. We're not
Oh, yeah.
far away from Hiroshima,
No.
and so they
Yeah.
Yeah.
radiation poisoning is very much still in the minds of any able-bodied adult. Like,
For sure.
yeah, they're like, radiation's now the thing that's going to take us out.
Right.
Mhm.
And so it kills Eddie. Poor Eddie. Shouldn't have
Mhm.
played with the dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of wind. It
Yeah.
was inexplicable wind. But he's blowing out windows. He kills Eddie, which is bad.
And that
And
knocks out the station, and that's when
yeah, that's when
Buddy-
yeah. Buddy's like, "Oh no, the station's not on. I guess I should tell Alan, as it is his job."
Right.
Because we got a backup DJ. We did not get a backup engineer. In spite of the fact that it is his night, he is getting
Yeah.
an award.
And the backup DJ was not supposed to touch anything. And in general,
Touch
for an
anything.
hour, everything will be fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, an hour.
Yeah.
Eddie couldn't handle it for an hour.
You put the record on,
Mhm.
you play it, you do it again. It's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been on the radio. An hour on radio goes by very quickly.
He got
My-
bored
my-
in the first 3 minutes of his service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
My
undiagnosed
dad,
adult ADHD.
yeah. My dad was a DJ in the would have been the late 60s, early 70s. Unfortunately, Eddie didn't have Nights of White Satin, the long version, which was my dad's. If you had to go to the bathroom, you put on
Yep.
the long version of
Yeah.
Nights in White Satin with the monologue in the middle.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I can think of anytime I hear that song. Even though those days are so far past, that's all I can think about is bathroom break. So all right, there's like a guy in a store that gets burned.
Well,
Yeah.
so Eddie or Buddy goes in and gets Alan. And it's like, hey,
Mhm.
something's going on. They go out, they listen to the radio. It's like, that's not right. All right, let's call the station. So he goes to the
Right.
payphone. I love the shot of them at the phone.
Yeah.
Great.
There's a really great bit at the end because Alan
Mhm.
keeps putting coins in to call and there's nobody
Yes.
answering and the operator doesn't answer. And Alan goes because he's like, well, I got to go over there. And Buddy goes over and takes the coin out of the coin return.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So good.
That's
But he
great.
calls the station first,
Yep.
and Eddie doesn't pick up. So then he calls the warehouse. That was the
That's
other
right.
guy.
That's where the old
And as
dude
he's
is.
calling the guy
Oh.
at the warehouse, the galaxy being is showing up there. And that guy, rather than answering the phone that starts ringing, just reaches into the filing cabinet and grabs the revolver that he happens to have right
Yeah,
there.
because this is why we can't be contacted by other
Yeah.
species.
This is
Because
why
we're
we are
keeping
not
guns in random cabinets in our
Yep.
office.
Yep. Right. Just shoot the static monster.
Mhm.
It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
And he's killing people with like weird sound waves that come out of his face. I was trying to
Which I
understand
think are supposed
that.
to be microwaves. Like I think
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
he's
It's
cooking
radiation.
people.
Okay. That's why their hands are burned and stuff. I get
That's why their hands are burned. That's why that guy, his face, when the
Yeah.
cops show up, his face is all burned.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Excellent.
oh,
That guy performed that so well too, because he was clearly in shock. Like,
yeah, yeah,
nice. Give
Yeah.
that man an Emmy. Like, I believe
Yeah.
that because he was like wandering,
Yeah.
like, where am I? Help me! And the cops like, what is
Mhm.
going on?
For
It's
TV
perfect.
budget, all
Mhm.
of this was phenomenal.
Oh, top
Oh, yeah.
notch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this all gets very fuzzy. So
It
Alan
does.
finds it, right?
Yeah.
Well, it shows up. It
It shows up
finds
at the
him.
thing.
Well, it
That's right.
wanders
Because
around
everybody
town
runs.
forever. You know,
Oh
because
yeah.
it go
Well, we
past
got it.
it went past Smitty's Bar and Grill, and people were
Yep.
running out, and like
Mhm.
Mhm.
wind is blowing everywhere. He's knocking over trash cans. Like,
Yes,
dude,
the
you could have
trash
just
can was
like,
so good.
okay, if I'm an alien microwave being that just shows up somewhere and gets accidentally leaves the TV, I'm gonna be like, I better stay in here because
Yeah.
this place is
Yeah.
dangerous. I'm not gonna go sightsee and blast people
In the
with
bad
microwaves.
neighborhood.
Yeah, I'll wait. Like, wait, where's that guy I was talking to? Maybe he'll come back and we'll figure this out.
What's an hour? I don't know. Maybe I can
Mhm.
figure out what an hour is.
Yeah.
I'll go ask people.
Yeah. Because it is
And
it is an
you, what's an
intelligent
hour?
being and it's not an aggressive being.
Right.
It's just
Not intentionally.
oh no. Oh no. Science nerd. Also
Mhm.
bad at social cues. He didn't
Yes.
realize he should have just stayed in the
Yeah,
shed.
just stay where you are.
Right. He shows up at the party.
Hmm.
And it's real good because the first thing you see, like, because you just see like light coming from like the lobby, right? And everybody's running and screaming. And Carol
Oh.
faints.
Mhm.
Alan has to catch her and carry her. Come on, man. Every other woman made it out, man.
They were all running.
Every
had a rough
single
night.
one. They were fine.
Yeah, she was pretty sure she was gonna leave Alan up to this point. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's already
Yeah.
wore her
Oh yeah,
emotional.
because because he went out and
Yeah.
came back and she was like, I am over this. I did this nice thing.
Mhm.
I got the deviled eggs. I got the shrimp cocktail.
Mhm.
We've got open bar for another 45 minutes, which this is funny. Because they go out, so the cops are there, The cops in leather jackets and jack boots, which is a very specific one.
It was a real, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the military shows up, and you know they're the military because their vehicles have no roofs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
None
they've
of
got those
them.
green
Not a
helmets.
one.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
And even in black and white.
Even
you
in
know they're
black and
green.
white,
You
I know
know
what
they're
color that
green.
is. Yep.
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 And they got the guns. Good.
Yep.
Very
Yeah.
good. As we've learned, this is going to be very useful,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
And it's just microwaving bullets in space. So
What?
they're
That was
Alan's
such a
taking it
rad
back.
shot, though. Like the
Oh, it
effects
was.
behind that, like the bullseye thing
Mhm.
on the screen, and then the bullets flashing by and disappear. The matting work and the overlays and the
Mhm.
green, blue, whatever screen they used. It was. I know they used the alien shot, like the same shot 15 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is fine, but
That's
it was
fine.
just so good. I was so impressed with the special effects on this thing. It was
I was too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
really, really good.
Alan gets it back to the shed while carrying Carol, who does not lose either of her shoes. Quite good. He almost places her on a chair.
Mhm.
It's just not a chair meant for a prone person.
No.
And so
No.
everybody did
No.
the best they could. I feel like they didn't rehearse it. They were like, well, this is what we're doing now. And so the Carol accidentally gets shot in all of this.
I love that because she goes to the door and it's like, "Hey, don't do anything," and the military just shoots at her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That guy's not getting disciplined or anything. They're just like,
No.
Not a thing.
yeah.
No.
That's just a woman.
Don't even worry about it.
She
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be there. Just don't worry about it. We'll write this away in paperwork. It's fine.
So she's gonna die. However, Galaxy Being is here with the good radiation.
Yeah.
And he's gonna ET this and fix it. And he
There's
does.
Alan using the
Great.
big words again. You
Cauterize.
cauterize? Like, dude,
He doesn't know.
I know what you mean. He's
Yes.
gonna fix it.
He's just gonna fix it. Either that or she's gonna be dead. Either way.
Yeah, she's gonna
Like-
get cancer in a
Yeah.
year or two, but we're gonna
Yeah.
close this bullet
Her
hole.
thyroid, you're
Yeah.
gonna want to get that checked. But we'll worry about that later.
There are now problems and there's tomorrow problems. We're gonna fix the
Yeah.
now problems.
Yeah. So the Galaxy Being, this is the part with the bullets, and then the Galaxy Being destroys the transmitter.
Mhm.
The mob is told there are powers in this universe beyond anything you know. There's much you have to learn. Go to your homes. Go and give thought to the mysteries of the universe. I will leave you now in peace. I should say that once they leave with the alien at the party, everybody just goes back inside.
There's still juice and stuff.
Open bar is another hour. They're
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Open bar, dude.
they're going back.
I mean, if a bull ran through a party and wrecked everything but the open bar and I had to run away, I'd wait till the bull left and then I'd be like,
Then you go
okay, is
back.
it clear?
You'd be like, is the
Alright.
fondue still good?
Can
Great.
I have that rum and coke, please? Thank you.
It's that Ghostbusters moment where there's the restaurant, everybody's watching, and then there's like the
Yes.
commotion at the glass,
Uh-huh.
and he gets attacked, and then they just all go back to their dinner.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's expensive
you
dinner.
can't
Tavern-
help. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that was like Tavern on the Green or something. Yeah, hey, cheap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like $100 a plate in 1986.
That's right. But I did
So-
love that the Galaxy Being's like, all right, everybody, just go home and contemplate the mysteries of the universe, and everyone's just like, okay,
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
and disperse.
Yep.
Sure, I usually leave that for like an hour on Sundays, but sure, yeah, I could take
do
a
that
couple minutes
now.
out of my day, I guess.
Yeah.
That was some weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll go.
there's a
drink-
lot of really easily available drugs these days. Like
Oh,
I could
yeah.
I can repress this real quick.
Yeah.
Although you go,
Don't even worry
it
about
does
it.
make me want to see what they say going back to the open bar and then thinking about it. So
Yeah.
the universe.
Be like,
Man.
is this mushrooms? Did I what? What was in those canapes? I'm not. Did you wild forage again? Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So the galaxy being can't go home.
Nope.
On account of he broke the rules.
Mhm.
Um,
But he can't stay
and
here.
he can't
on
stay
account of-
here, obviously, on account of everything.
Just-
He's like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna die. It's a real law of thermodynamics. There, it's just he's just gonna disperse.
Well, because
he'll
there
just
is no
be-
death for him.
there's
He's
no
a
death.
Right.
nitrogen cycle.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, we're a carbon cycle, but I'd still say there's a lot of death involved.
It
But
reminded me.
okay.
It did remind me of that movie Evolution from back in the early 2000s with Orlando Jones, where the nitrogen-based beings couldn't. The selenium was the thing that took them out. They defeated them with
Yeah.
Head and Shoulders.
Nice.
Great movie. Great movie. Yeah. Not selenium. It was selenium. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
is
yeah,
it-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
I
is.
couldn't figure out if that was a piece of software I've used lately or an element.
Could be two things.
Probably is. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, and so it fades away, and it says end of transmission.
Yeah.
Which I kept thinking of Tron. End of
Yeah.
line.
End of line.
The planet Earth is a speck of dust, remote and alone in the void. There are powers in the universe inscrutable and profound. Fear cannot save us. Rage cannot help us. We must see the stranger in a new light, the light of understanding. To achieve this, we must begin to understand ourselves and each other.
That's deep, man.
Yeah. For 7:30 TV. That's a lot.
It's terrifyingly timely. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Good news. TV from 1963 is still painfully relevant.
It holds up.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then we get the Outer Limits outro, which I'm not gonna spoil. And and that's that. Outer Limits. A wild time. Very sci-fi. Feel like I hit that brief pretty well.
Oh yeah. You know.
Oh yeah.
So kids, I want to know what you think. I'll start since you have a bit of a minor bit of a past. Travis, what did you think?
Loved it. I am a massive fan of short form science fiction, speculative fiction, horror anthologies. I love that stuff because I think that short stories for sci-fi, horror, fantasy work so well because you don't have to try and explain everything. You can have quick in and out, like, oh, he's got radios, he's testing microwaves. All right, it's good enough
Great.
for me. He contacted somebody in Andromeda that talked back
Great.
to him.
I know where that
Cool.
I've heard that word.
Yep. That's all you
Great.
need. You can get away with it, and it's
Yeah.
great. It's why I love the Twilight Zone and why I do very much enjoy the Outer Limits. And I'll watch more of this. This is great
Fantastic.
background TV.
I learned that
For sure.
Andromeda is north of the Milky Way from this,
Yeah.
so that's really good.
Yeah.
But it's a stellar north.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah,
Stellar
of
north.
course,
Stellar
stellar
North,
north. Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
North.
yes.
Yeah.
Mistake.
Audie, what'd you think?
Yeah, I dug this. I mean, it was a lot of fun to finally experience the Outer Limits and get a
Mhm.
taste of it. So it was definitely fun sci-fi. And like Travis said, this is the good background watching for sure.
Mhm.
Awesome. Steven, how about you?
I am a sucker for good old black and white TV, and I loved it. Yeah, I would totally watch more of this. I was so impressed with the special effects. I think when I started watching old movies, like I know this is the 60s, which is an era I'm pretty familiar with, but like the further back you go, the more stunning it is when you see them do certain things you just didn't expect to be possible at that time.
I mean, the other thing too, right? I mean, because you see it a lot in horror films, especially, is that practical effects, when they work the first time, they hold up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? In a way that digital just simply doesn't, especially now in our age of we need to do it faster.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the scenes
know what I
start
mean?
showing in the digital era where like you're good with it in the with practical effects in the old days.
yeah.
You just
I mean,
they're-
even
Because
last week,
in-
even the green screen was with Superman was surprisingly good.
Oh yeah,
for
it was
what
shocking.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding
and I
me?
think a big part of that is because when you are doing an effect practically, like they do in this, even there's a lot of newer productions that are melding and using CG the way that it's best to augment. But
Mhm.
when you have to do something practical on set, you only get one shot at it, maybe.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot more thought and planning that goes into what are you going to do. Like the part of the reason that the dinosaur effects in Jurassic Park and the Lost World look so good was because they had to plan out everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
all the stuff, like if you ever see behind the scenes shots of like the T-Rex on the boat in Lost World,
Mhm.
you see where they rigged everything on that boat to get knocked over where the T-Rex would
Mhm.
be running, and then they animate to that.
Yeah.
So it's like
Right.
there's just a lot of thought goes into it, and that's what makes these old shows. Granted, some of the old sci-fi stuff. I mean, I remember Audie and I watched an old episode of Lost in Space, and like it's rough looking.
Yeah.
It is
Sure.
because the
Mhm.
budget's not there.
I was
But
about to say the budgets on that in particular is
Right.
Mhm.
pretty low.
but
The
when
other
they
thing
nail it,
too
it looks great.
is when you're working in black and white,
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff you can do with colored light and makeup
hmm
that,
Yeah.
in person is going to look really weird. I forget, there's an old movie that uses it to like
There's a
age
transition
to
in the
yeah, to
movie.
like age a character,
Mhm.
and it's basically red
Oh,
and blue
yeah.
light. And so they have the makeup is one color for the young and the old is the other color, and they like switch the light color, and in black and white you can't see that, and it just changes the whole thing.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, that's so
magic.
cool. It's
So
magic. It
good.
is
That
magic.
is
That's
It's just
that
exactly
is
what
magic.
such
it
a
is.
fun
Yeah.
clip to show a young somebody that isn't familiar with old movies. Show
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
that clip and watch their brain melt for a second when you tell them, yeah, this is 100 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wildly hoping someone in chat knows what movie I'm talking about. I don't know. It was a
Yeah.
horror film, I think, because I think it was the
It
horror
was.
podcast I was listening to. So that was Outer Limits. We have one more sci-fi episode to go.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, did we get any feedback? I always
Nothing
forget
in
that
the
part.
email bucket.
I did not see anything.
I got, our usual comment from Astigma on the Blue Ski.
Yeah.
Just saying, my first time watching this show, but I remember when The Simpsons did a parody of the intro for Treehouse of Horror 5 in season 6.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the other part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we have one more week of sci-fi, and that is going over to our very good friend TV's Travis. Travis, what
That's
we
me.
doing?
So we are going to go north of the border, and we are going to
Oh, heck.
watch a little Canadian sci-fi show from the 90s that I remember watching in syndicated reruns. And it was a show called Sci Factor: Chronicles of the Paranormal.
Whoa.
What?
This is one of those shows that I remember, and when I tell people about it, 99% of the time I get that response, which is
Mm-hmm.
what?
What?
Because they've never heard of it before. So, Sci Factor: Chronicles of the Paranormal. I remember watching it. I want to say it was like TNT reruns or something like that. But and it was one. It was a show that got picked up, and they would show in block. They would do a block of like 2 or 3 episodes every day.
Mhm.
It had Matt Frewer in it. Your
I
Oh,
your
I
love
Max
that.
love
Headroom.
Matt Frewer.
Nice.
It was hosted by Dan Aykroyd.
What?
Uh,
Oh,
He's
okay. All
Canadian.
right. I'm seeing all right.
so it's a little X-Filesy. It's a little it's an anthology in that it's kind of a Monster of the Week show, but there is some underlying kind of structure and story going on. We're going to watch season 3, episode 4, Palimpsest. I don't know what that word means at all, but that's the Palimpsest.
Sure.
Yeah,
Palimpsest.
right on.
That's the name of it. But the description was too good not to do. The bodies of a prospector and a young-looking old woman that mysteriously appeared in an unfinished building imply that the past, the present, and the future might somehow be intersecting at that spot.
Ooh.
Obviously. Why wouldn't it?
This was also co-written by Peter Aykroyd, Dan Aykroyd's brother.
I do like that the
So-
Wikipedia says because it talks about Peter Aykroyd first.
Mhm.
it does say that it is hosted by Peter Ackroyd's brother. Dan Aykroyd. It's like, yeah, man. Yeah. No.
That's still Lester
Uh,
Aykroyd, of course.
Dan
It's
who?
not
Oh,
the
I'm
one.
familiar with
The who?
Peter, but
Right?
know what Dan might have done.
So yeah, I'm
Okay,
excited to
alright.
revisit this because I have not watched this show in probably 25 years.
And that's-
Palimpsest, a manuscript or piece of writing material on which the original writing has been effaced to make room for later writing, but of which traces remain.
Oh,
Okay.
So when you erase it and then you can see, but you can still see it underneath.
that sounds like an Aykroyd word.
Palimpsest. That's a good word.
Yeah.
It does. You found that word in Tobin's Spirit Guide.
Yeah, you ever talk to Dan
Mm.
Aykroyd long enough, and just weird stuff starts falling out
Yeah.
of him. And Sci Factor is spelled PSI, not sci-fi
Yes.
like
Yes.
sci-fi, but sci. So when you're searching for it,
I like psionics.
yes. Also, we
Psychic.
need a poll.
We do need a
for
poll. I
next week.
realized
We do.
that.
We
yeah.
don't have one now, but we will have one, and it will be in the notes and all over the blue sky and all over your
We will also
wherevers.
not be here next week.
Also, yeah, we got
That's
plenty
It
of
would
time.
be-
Oh, so we've got
It will
time.
be the week after. Yeah. We got some time. It's fine, everybody.
Yes.
So
And
until
One
next
thing,
time.
where can we watch Sci
yeah.
Factor?
That episode is streaming on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Oh,
Ah, damn.
perfect.
Phenomenal.
It is also
So-
available on Peacock and I believe Pluto as well. So you've got some options.
That's great.
Nice.
Love that. So until next time and Sci Factor. We now return control of your podcatcher to you. Until next time, when the control voice will take you to those were the days.